I think in certain point of in everyone's life, we feel like we are lost and unaware about where to go or what to do. And that is what I really want to talk about, how to find our desires or how to find where I actually need to go in my life.
I think at a certain point in everyone's life, we feel lost and unsure about where to go or what to do. That's what I really want to talk about, how to discover our desires and figure out where we actually need to go in life. Feedback. At a certain point. The correct preposition is at for specific points in time. We feel like we are lost. We feel lost. More natural and concise. Unaware about. Unsure about. More suitable word choice in this context. How to find our desires. How to discover our desires. Sounds more natural. That's a deep and important topic. Are you feeling this way right now, or are you just generally curious about it?
Honestly, I'm feeling this way right now. And because of that, I actually looked at into how to find the real meaning or what I actually want to do in my life. And then I actually found this video on YouTube, which is done by a productivity expert called the Ali Abdal. And I really want to talk about the strategies and method that he mentioned about how we need to find the meaning and the path of our life. And I really want to use that to identify what I really want to achieve in my life and where I really need to go.
Honestly, I'm feeling this way right now. Because of that, I started looking into how to find the real meaning of life and what I actually want to do. Then I found a video on YouTube by a productivity expert named Ali Abdal. I really want to talk about the strategies and methods he mentioned for finding meaning and direction in life. I also want to use them to identify what I truly want to achieve and where I need to go. Feedback. I started looking into more natural phrasing, which is done by a productivity expert named. Sounds smoother. I really want to use that to identify. I also want to use them to identify, referring to multiple strategies and methods. So them fits better. That sounds really interesting. What were some of the key strategies he talked about?
So basically, he talked about why we feel lost in our life is because of three main reasons. Because one is we don't know our destination, and the second reason is we don't have any idea about where to start or the starting point, and the third reason is we don't know what path to pursue in order to go from the point A to point B, which means from your current state to your desired state. And can you help me to understand this further as well?
Corrected version. Basically, he talked about three main reasons why we feel lost in life. The first reason is that we don't know our destination. The second is that we have no idea where to start. And the third reason is that we don't know what path to take to get from point A to point B, meaning from our current state to our desired state. Can you help me understand this further? Feedback. Why we feel lost in our life is because of three main reasons why we feel lost in life. More natural phrasing. Because one is. The first reason is more structured and grammatically correct. Any idea about where do we start? No idea where to start. More natural and correct question structure. What path to pursue in order to go? What path to take to get? More fluid and natural. Yes, this makes a lot of sense. Each of these reasons highlights a different kind of uncertainty. Do you feel like you're struggling with one of these more than the others? Or is it all three?
I feel like I'm struggling with all these three, and because of that, I have decided to discuss about the strategies that he mentioned in order to identify what we need to fulfill in the each stage. So he mentioned that during the video, he is also referring to the book called Designing Your Life. And the method that mentioned on the book is called the wayfinding. So I think in this case, I am also going to use the strategies that he mentioned during his videos that he took out from the book. So with your knowledge, and I hope you will help me to identify and clarify the path I need to pursue in my life based on the strategies that he mentioned, what we are going to discuss in next.
I feel like I'm struggling with all three. And because of that, I've decided to discuss the strategies he mentioned to understand what we need to focus on at each stage. In the video, he also referred to a book called Designing Your Life, which introduces a method called wayfinding. I think I'm going to use the strategies he shared from the book. With your knowledge, I hope you can help me identify and clarify the path I need to pursue based on the strategies we'll discuss in the next video. Feedback. Discuss, no need for about after discuss, in order to identify what we need to fulfill in each stage, to understand what we need to focus on at each stage. More natural and clear. During the video, he is also referring. In the video, he also referred. Correct tense and smoother phrasing. The method that mentioned on the book, which introduces a method called wayfinding, more grammatically correct. With your knowledge, and I hope you will help me. With your knowledge, I hope you can help me. Better structure. That sounds like a great approach. Have you already looked into the wayfinding method, or do you want to explore it together, step by step?
Let's actually explore it together because I have some notes that I took down while I was watching his video, and I think it is best to discuss about these notes and how the method that he mentioned is applicable to my life step by step. So shall we do it together?
Corrected version. Let's explore it together because I took some notes while watching his video. I think it's best to discuss these notes and how the method he mentioned applies to my life, step by step. Shall we do it together? Feedback. Let's actually explore it together. Let's explore it together. More natural. Actually is unnecessary. Because I have some notes that I took down. Because I took some notes, more concise. Took down is optional. Discuss. Again, about is not needed after discuss. How the method that he mentioned is applicable to my life. How the method he mentioned applies to my life. More natural phrasing. Yes, that sounds like a great plan. What's the first key point from your note?
So the first one is why you are lost in your life. That means finding the destination. So under this method, he actually mentioned about, I think, around 4 strategies. The first one is what service you might offer to the world. So when it comes to the service, there is, for me personally, I don't have any particular answer because I think from my childhood onward, I had a really different dreams. One time I want to be a programmer and I want to be a good person. And as well as I want to be the traveler and share my experience. And also I want to have enough money to spend all of my works. And further, I think I really want to have a good family and spend a lot of time with them.
Corrected version. The first point is why you feel lost in life, which means finding your destination. Under this method, he mentioned about 4 strategies. The first one is identifying what service you might offer to the world. When it comes to this, I personally don't have a clear answer. Since childhood, I've had many different dreams. At one point, I wanted to be a programmer. I also wanted to be a good person, a traveler who shares experiences, and someone who earns enough money to support all my passion. Additionally, I really want to have a good family and spend a lot of time with them. Feedback. Why you are lost in your life, that means finding the destination. Why you feel lost in life, which means finding your destination. More natural phrasing. Under this method, he actually mentioned about, I think, around 4 strategies. Under this method, he mentioned about 4 strategies, more structured and concise. So when it comes to the service, there is, for me personally, I don't have any particular answer. When it comes to this, I personally don't have a clear answer. Better flow and clarity. From my childhood onward, I had a really different dreams. Since childhood, I've had many different dreams. More natural phrasing. Different is unnecessary. One time I wanted to be a programmer and I wanted to be a good person. At one point, I wanted to be a programmer. I also wanted to be a good person, more structured. And as well as I want to be the traveler and share my experience. A traveler who shares experiences, more natural and grammatically correct. I want to have enough money to spend all of my works. Someone who earns enough money to support all my passion. Better wording. It sounds like you have a lot of different dreams and values that matter to you. Do you see any common theme among them, like creativity, freedom, or helping others?
It is actually really difficult to identify a common theme with the one prompt that he suggests. So I think let's get in your second one. So the second prompt under the first category, which is identify our destination, is if you knew you could not fail, what would you do? So when it comes to this situation, it definitely will be for me passing all of my exams and getting into a good job where I can have enough money, because that is one thing I actually think about myself, because I really want to have this financial stability than the financial freedom, because I am not really happy with my current self, especially in financial terms. So I really want to uplift that. So I think education is one of the fundamental and the important milestone getting into the financial stability. And the other thing would be have a good relationships than my current level, because right now I am really unhappy about my relationships. So I intend to change them in future in good way and have a good relationship with others, especially when it comes to life relationships like finding a girlfriend, partner, and having a good life.
Correct. It's actually really difficult to identify a common theme with just one prompt. So let's move on to the second one. The second prompt under identifying our destination is, if you knew you could not fail, what would you do? For me, it would definitely be passing all my exams and getting a good job where I can earn enough money. That's something I think about a lot because I want financial stability more than financial freedom. I'm not happy with my current financial situation, so I really want to improve it. I believe education is a fundamental and important milestone for achieving financial stability. Another thing would be improving my relationships. Right now, I'm unhappy with them, so I want to change them in a positive way. I want to build better relationships with others, especially in my personal life, like finding a girlfriend or a life partner and having a good relationship. Feedback with the one prompt that he suggests, with just one prompt, more natural and concise. So I think let's get into the second one. So let's move on to the second one, more fluid. It definitely will be for me passing all of my exams. For me, it would definitely be passing all my exams, more grammatically correct. Because that is one thing I actually think about myself. That's something I think about a lot, more natural phrasing. I really want to have this financial stability than the financial freedom. I want financial stability more than financial freedom. Better sentence structure. I am not really happy with my current self, especially in financial terms. I'm not happy with my current financial situation. More natural phrasing. I have a good relationship than my current level. Improving my relationship. More natural way to say it. So I intend to change them in future in good way. So I want to change them in a positive way. Smoother phrasing. Life relationships like finding a girlfriend, partner, and having a good life. Like finding a girlfriend or a life partner and having a good relationship. More structured. You've got two strong goals, financial stability and better relationships. If you couldn't fail, which one would you focus on first?
Yeah, before I decide that, let's getting into the other method, which means describing your future self. So when it comes to this strategy, I describe myself as a person who help others and have a good position in the society and the recognitions, and as well as have a good family, being a good partner, being a good father, being a good husband, and being a good son, and being a good brother to my sisters, and as well as being a good person, live in my own house, a fancy house, and having my own car, spending money for the things I like without hesitation, and playing video games, enjoying time, traveling around the world, and taking pictures, enjoy my time, and dedicate my time for creating new things like the business ideas that I am having, which make the impact to the world. So, this will be my future self with full of adventure and as well as the beautiful moments which my desire to look the world all around the world and travel.
Yeah, before I decide that, let's move on to the next method, which is describing my future self. For this strategy, I see myself as a person who helps others, holds a good position in society, and is recognized for my contribution. I also imagine having a good family, being a good partner, a good father, a good husband, a good son, and a good brother to my sisters. In addition, I want to be a good person overall, living in my own fancy house, owning my own car, and spending money on the things I like without hesitation. I also see myself playing video games, enjoying life, traveling around the world, taking pictures, and dedicating time to creating new things, like business ideas that have a real impact on the world. So my future self is full of adventure and beautiful moments, fulfilling my desire to explore the world and travel everywhere. Feedback. Let's get into the other method, which means describing your future self. Let's move on to the next method, which is describing my future self, more natural and structured. I describe myself as a person who helps others and have a good position in the society and the recognition. I see myself as a person who helps others, holds a good position in society, and is recognized for my contribution, more grammatically correct and smoother. And as well as have a good family, being a good partner. I also imagine having a good family, being a good partner, better structure. Being a good person, living in my own house, a fancy house. I want to be a good person overall, living in my own fancy house, more structured, spending money for the things I like, spending money on the things I like. Correct preposition, on instead of for. Enjoy my time and dedicate my time for creating new things. Dedicating time to creating new things, more natural, which make the impact to the world, that have a real impact on the world. Correct wording. With full of adventure, and as well as the beautiful moment, which my desire to look the world, all around the world, and travel. Full of adventure and beautiful moments, fulfilling my desire to explore the world and travel everywhere. More natural flow. That's an amazing vision for your future. Out of everything you described, which part excites you the most?
For me, I think the most exciting part would be traveling all around the world and experience the nature and as well as the cultures and the places I traveled without being worried about any other situation. But I know that in order to do it, the stability of financial is essential. So I think that is also something that I really worried about and concerned about.
Corrected version. For me, the most exciting part would be traveling all around the world, experiencing nature, different cultures, and the places I visit without worrying about anything else. But I know that to do this, financial stability is essential. So that's something I'm really worried about and concerned about. Feedback. The most exciting part would be, add the for correct structure. Experience the nature and as well as the cultures and the places I travel. Experiencing nature, different cultures, and the places I visit. More natural phrasing. Without being worried about any other situation. Without worrying about anything else. Smoother and more natural. The stability of financial is essential. Financial stability is essential. Correct word order. So I think that is also something that I really worried about and concerned about. So that's something I'm really worried about and concerned about. Correct tense and smoother phrasing. That makes a lot of sense. Would you say financial stability is your top priority right now? Or do you also want to start experiencing small travel moments along the way?
I think at this moment, the financial stability is the first priority for me. And before we discuss it further, let's getting into the second main point, which is the identify where are you right now. So for this, he actually mentioned a main method which is called the life audit, and another next method is wheel of life. So under the life audit, he mentioned about discuss the things what works for you and what not works for you. So for me personally, I think what works for me is really hard to tell because I don't know. I feel like there's nothing works for me. But when it comes to education, I made significant progress. I entered to the university and completed the half of my CA journey, which is required to be a chartered accountant. And through the free informative resources, I learn a lot about business and marketing. And what not works for me is there is a whole list. I don't know, I'm not really appreciate myself or criticizing myself. But when it comes to businesses, I really didn't make any progress because there are a lot of hinders and the problems that I had to face, especially when it comes to this payment solution and the problems that the country that I'm living, especially getting payment solution and establishing businesses likewise. And apart from that, the most of the business ideas that I had didn't come to success or fruition. And as well as the next thing, my main concern and worry would be relationships. Because even though I tried so much hard, it's really difficult for me to have relationships. Even romantic relationships, especially, I am worse. And I didn't even had a girlfriend. And I don't have a good friendships as well. So those are the bad side of my life.
I think at this moment, financial instability is my first priority. Before we discuss it further, let's move on to the second main point. Identifying where you are right now. For this, he mentioned two main methods, Live for D and the Wheel of Life. Under Live for D, he talked about for you and what doesn't. For me personally, it's really hard to say what works because I feel like nothing is really working. However, in terms of education, I've made significant progress. I got into university and completed half of my CEA journey, which is required to become a chartered accountant. I've also learned about business and marketing through free informative resources. As for what doesn't work, there's a long list. I'm not criticizing myself, but when it comes to business, I haven't made much progress. There have been many obstacles, especially related to payment solutions and the challenges of setting up businesses in my country. Also, most of the business ideas I had didn't succeed or didn't develop properly. Another major concern is relationships. No matter how hard I try, it's really difficult for me to build relationships, especially romantic ones. I'm quite introverted and I've never had a girlfriend. I also don't have strong friendships, which is another challenging part of my life. Feedback. The financial instability is the first priority for me. Financial instability is my first priority. No need for the and better phrasing. Before we discuss it further, let's get into the second main point, which is the identify. Where are you right now? Before we discuss it further, let's move on to the second main point, identifying where you are right now. More natural and structured. For this, we actually mention a main method, which is called the Live 4D, and another next method is the Wheel of Life. For this, he mentioned two main methods, Live 4D and the Wheel of Life. More natural phrasing. So, under the Live 4D, he mentioned about discuss the things what works for you and what not works for you. Under Live 4D, he talked about discussing what works for you and what doesn't. More concise and grammatically correct. So for me personally, I think what works for me is really hard to tell. For me personally, it's really hard to say what works. Smoother phrasing. I entered to the university. I got into university. More natural. Completed the half of my CEA journey. Completed half of my CEA journey. No the needed. Through the free informative resources, I learn a lot. I've also learned a lot through free informative resources, correct tense, and better flow. What not works for me is there is a whole list. As for what doesn't work, there's a long list, more natural. I don't know, I'm not really appreciate myself or criticizing myself. I'm not criticizing myself. More grammatically correct. There are a lot of hinders and the problems. There have been many obstacles and challenges. Hinders is incorrect in this context. When it comes to this payment solution and the problems that the country that I'm living, especially getting payment solution and establishing businesses likewise, especially related to payment solutions and the challenges of setting up businesses in my country. Much clearer and grammatically correct. Most of the business ideas that I had didn't come to success or erosion. Most of the business ideas I had didn't succeed or didn't develop properly. Erosion is incorrect here. My main concern and worry would be relationships. Another major concern is relationships, more structured. Even though I tried so much hard, it's really difficult for me. No matter how hard I try, it's really difficult for me. I didn't even have a girlfriend. I'm quite introverted and I've never had a girlfriend. Versed is not correct in this context. I don't have a good friendships as well. I also don't have strong friendships, more natural phrasing. It sounds like you've made a lot of progress in your education, which is a great achievement. When it comes to business and relationships, do you feel like there's a specific challenge that holds you back the most?
Yeah, I think when it comes to business, I think my main problem would be consistency and confidence. Because sometimes if the result doesn't get instantly, I tend to give up it too quickly. So that is one thing that I identified as a main problem when it comes to my business side of my life. And when it comes to relationship, I really don't have any idea about what might wrong with me. I think it might be the confidence and the self-esteem of me, because I believe that I am a not worthy person. That means I have this low self-esteem and self-belief about myself. And I believe that that will be my main reason that most of the relationships are not working for me.
Yeah, I think when it comes to business, my main problem would be consistency and confidence. Sometimes, if the results don't come instantly, I tend to give up too quickly. So, that's one thing I've identified as a main problem in the business side of my life. And as for relationships, I really don't have any idea what might be wrong with me. I think it might be my confidence and self-esteem. I believe that I'm not a worthy person. which means I have low self-esteem and self-belief. I think that's the main reason most of my relationships haven't worked out. Feedback. When it comes to business, I think my main problem would be consistency and confidence. When it comes to business, my main problem would be consistency and confidence. Removed extra, I think, for smoother phrasing. Because sometimes if the result doesn't get instantly, sometimes if the results don't come instantly, more natural phrasing and use of plural results. I tend to give up too quickly. It isn't needed. So that is one thing that I identified as a main problem when it comes to my business side of my life. So that's one thing I've identified as a main problem in the business side of my life. More concise and grammatically correct. When it comes to relationships, as for relationships, better phrasing. I really don't have any idea about what might be wrong with me. Might be is needed. I think it might be the confidence and the self-esteem of me. I think it might be my confidence and self-esteem, simplified and more natural. I believe that I am a not worthy person. Correct word order. That means I have this low self-esteem and self-belief about myself, which means I have low self-esteem and self-belief. More natural phrasing. And I believe that that will be my main reason that most of the relationships are not working for me. I think that's the main reason most of my relationships haven't worked out. Smoother and more direct. It's great that you've been able to identify these challenges. Both consistency in business and confidence in relationships are tough, but can be worked on. Do you have any thoughts on how you might start addressing these issues?
Not yet. And we will also discuss about in another episode as well. So the next prompt would be, in order to understand where you are right now, is name the 10 things that are true about you. So when I heard that, firstly, I already got confused because I couldn't even list the 10 things that are true about me. I still cannot. So I think certain things are true about me is that I'm good at studying because I got selected to the university. And also I believe that I am good at graphic designing, even though I not create a significant or any well designs, I still believe that I am good at. And I also good at I think I'm a good person from my heart because I help most of my friends and other people. And I think I am good looking, even though I am not sure because I was unable to find a relationship yet. And I also believe that I am a good friend, and because I never turn down any of my friends' request or the help that they ask, even though that it might make me some disadvantages like spending money or something. I think that is one of my weaknesses as well. And another one thing that true about me will be I am actually interested in different things and do the experiment, and that is 100% true because from my childhood onward I really eager to look at into the what's inside of my toys. So I break down all these toys and take the circuit board that inside this toys and check it. So I did this kind of experiment. So I think I am a curious person who are eager to explore things. And I also believe that I am, even though I am not good at photo taking, I am still eager to explore the world and experience it. But with the condition that I am having, especially this irresistible bowel syndrome, IBS, which make me somewhat nervous in this type of situation where I have to travel from one place to another. Even though I think I'm still a person who curious about exploring the world. So those are some of them might be, I believe, true about me.
Corrected version. Not yet, but we can discuss it in another episode as well. So the next prompt to understand where you are right now is name the 10 things that are true about you. When I first heard that, I got confused because I couldn't even list 10 things that are true about, and I still can't. So I think some things that are true about me are that I'm good at studying because I got accepted into university. I also believe that I'm good at graphic design, even though I haven't created significant or impressive designs yet. I also believe that I'm a good person at heart because I help most of my friends and others. I think I'm good looking, although I'm not sure since I haven't found a relationship yet. I believe I'm a good friend because I never turn down any of my friends' requests or the help they ask for, even if it puts me at a disadvantage, like spending money. I think that might also be one of my weaknesses. Another thing that is true about me is that I'm interested in many things and enjoy experimenting. This has been true since childhood because I was always eager to see what was inside my toys. I used to take apart my toys and look at the circuit boards inside them. So I think I'm a curious person who loves to explore things. Even though I'm not good at photography, I still have a strong desire to explore the world and experience it. However, due to my condition, particularly the irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, I sometimes get nervous when I need to travel from one place to another. Despite that, I still consider myself a person who is curious about exploring the world. So, those are some things I believe are true about me. Feedback. Firstly, I already got confused. When I first heard that, I got confused. More natural phrasing. Because I couldn't even list the 10 things that true about me. Because I couldn't even list 10 things that are true about me. Correct structure and verb tense. I still cannot, and I still can't. Smoother phrasing. I am good at graphic designing, even though I not create a significant or any well design. I'm good at graphic design, even though I haven't created significant or impressive designs yet. More grammatically correct and natural. I think I am a good person from my heart. I also believe that I'm a good person at heart. More natural and grammatically correct. I think I am good looking, even though I am not sure because I was unable to find a relationship yet. I think I'm good looking, although I'm not sure, since I haven't found a relationship yet. More grammatically correct and smoother. I believe that I am a good friend, and because I never turn down any of my friends' requests. I believe I'm a good friend because I never turn down any of my friends' requests. Correct structure and possessive form. Even though that it might make me some disadvantages, like, spending money or something. Even if it puts me at a disadvantage, like spending money. Clearer and more natural phrasing. One of my weaknesses as well. I think that might also be one of my weaknesses. More natural phrasing. The I am actually interested in different things. I'm interested in many things. Simplify and make it more natural. I'm really eager to look into the what inside of my toys. I was always eager to see what was inside my toys. Correct verb tense and phrasing. So I break down all these toys and take the circuit board that inside the toys. I used to take apart my toys and look at the circuit boards inside them. More natural phrasing. I am a curious person who are eager to explore things. I think I'm a curious person who loves to explore things. Subject-verb agreement and better phrasing. Even though I'm not good at photo taking. Even though I'm not good at photography. More natural phrasing. But with the condition that I am having, especially this irresistible bubble syndrome IBS. However, due to my condition, particularly irritable bowel syndrome IBS, more natural phrasing. This might make me somewhat nervous in this type of situation where I have to travel from one place to another. I sometimes get nervous when I need to travel from one place to another. Smoother phrasing. Even though I think I am still a person who's curious about exploring the world. Despite that, I still consider myself a person who is curious about exploring the world. more natural phrasing, and correct use of period. You've made some insightful points. It's important to acknowledge both strengths and challenges. Have you thought about ways to overcome the challenges, like building more confidence in business or exploring other ways to ease travel anxiety?
I think those things, let address them in another part. So as we discuss in this conversation, so now we come to the our last part, which is the identify the path. That means how should we change. So under here, he mentioned about a one strategy called in next 10 years, what would you like to do? So for me, it will be personally, if I think about my goals and all the dreams I have, there are a list of things like be fluent in English, find a girlfriend, have a good family relationship, buy my own vehicle, build my own house, learn programming, building a successful online business, travel around the world, and have a good friendship, and being a photographer, learn to swim, and go to gym and stay healthy and build your body, and as well as learn how to play the guitar. And yeah, I mean, there are lots of things, and those are the things that coming to my mind instantly.
I think we should address those things in another part. So, as we discussed in this conversation, we now come to the last part, which is identifying the path, or how we should change. Under this, he mentioned one strategy called, in the next 10 years, what would you like to do? For me, personally, if I think about my goals and dreams, there's a list of things like being fluent in English, finding a girlfriend, having a good family relationship, buying my own vehicle, building my own house, learning programming, building a successful online business, traveling around the world, having good friendships, being a photographer, learning to swim, going to the gym to stay healthy, building my body, and learning how to play the guitar. Yeah, there are lots of things, and those are the ones that come to my mind instantly. Feedback. I think those things, let's address them in another part. I think we should address those things in another part. Smoother phrasing. So as we discussed in this conversation, so now we come to our last part, which is the identify the path. So as we discussed in this conversation, we now come to the last part, which is identifying the path. Correct article and smoother phrasing. That means how should we change, or how we should change, more natural phrasing. Under here, he mentioned about one strategy called in next 10 years, what would you like to do? Under this, he mentioned one strategy called in the next 10 years, what would you like to do? Corrected word order and added quotation marks. For me, it will be personally. For me personally, smoother phrasing. If I think about my goals and all the dreams I have, there are a list of things. If I think about my goals and dreams, there's a list of things. More natural phrasing and corrected article usage. Be fluent in English, being fluent in English. Maintain consistency with the other items in the list. Find a girlfriend. Finding a girlfriend. Same reason as above. Consistency in the list. Building a successful online business, travel around the world, and have a good friendship. Building a successful online business, traveling around the world, having good friendships. Again, consistency in the list. And as well as learn how to play the guitar, and learning how to play the guitar, corrected phrasing and punctuation for clarity. Your list of goals and dreams is really varied and full of great aspirations. Focusing on these will definitely give you a sense of direction. Which of these do you feel most motivated to start with?
That is what I'm also really worries about and wonders about. And then he also suggests another method, which is the 12th month celebration. That means, what are the main 2 to 3 goals that you need to fulfill in your next 12 months? So he mentioned about not to overwhelm your life by choosing lots of goals in order to complete your next 12 months. So rather than that, focused on the 2 to 3 goals which has the highly impact in your life. So when it comes to myself, I think my 2 to 3 goals will be building my own business. That means currently I'm also following some of the strategies and I'm working on that. And so my first goal will be creating a fulfilling business. And then my next goal will be fluent in English, because I know that English is really essential when it comes to the work environment as well as the traveling, especially right now since I'm studying for the education. Also, English language is necessary. So I think improving my English will be my second goal. And the third goal will be finding a girlfriend. I don't know whether it is a priority or not, because I think it should not be my third goal. Rather than that, I should focus on improving my mental health and self esteem. But I don't know, because I feel like if I had a girlfriend, the most of the problems that I am having will be over. I think that is a problem of my mental health. So I think I need to focus on improving my mental health first than focusing on a girlfriend. So those three will be my main goals in the next 12 months.
That is what I am also really worried about and wondering about. He also suggests another method, which is the 12-month celebration. That means identifying the main 2 to 3 goals that you need to fulfill in the next 12 months. He mentions not to overwhelm your life by choosing too many goals for the next 12 months. Instead, focus on 2 to 3 goals that will have the greatest impact on your life. When it comes to me, I think my 2 3 goals will be building my own business. That means I am currently following some strategies and working on it. So my first goal will be creating a fulfilling business. My second goal will be becoming fluent in English, because I know that English is really essential in both the work environment and when traveling, especially since I'm currently studying English.
Sorry, there is a error I got. So can you please continue the discussion we had?
Of course, we were talking about your 12-month goals. You've identified 3 main goals: building your business, becoming fluent in English, and improving your mental health / self-esteem, and potentially finding a girlfriend later on. Since you're aiming to focus on 2 to 3 goals, I'd suggest reflecting on which one you feel would give you the most immediate impact or momentum in the next year. For example, if your mental health and self-esteem are affecting your motivation and confidence, focusing on those first could help you build a stronger foundation to work on the other goals. On the other hand, improving your English might open doors for your business or help with traveling. Which one do you feel most urgent to tackle first?
I think taking care of my mental health will be one of the significant priority, because if I messed up with my mental health, it will be a really burden, and it will make a lot of impact in my future journey as well. So I think I might have to take some action in order to address it in first hand.
That sounds like a wise decision. Mental health is the foundation for everything else, and taking action early to improve it can really make a difference in how you approach your other goals. Do you have any specific strategies or actions in mind to work on your mental health, or are you still figuring out the best approach?
Not yet. I think let's discuss about that topic in another conversation. So, based on the discussion we had today, can you give me your final thought regarding what should be my path will be based on the framework that we discussed my destination, starting point, and the path that I need to follow. I think under these main three path, we actually talk about some subparts as well. So based on the conversation we had, can you give me your final thought regarding how does my life should be planned out?
Based on our discussion and the framework we explored, here's my final thought on your path. 1. Destination. What do you want to achieve? Your ultimate destination seems to revolve around finding a balance between financial stability, personal fulfillment, and relationships. Key goals include building a successful business, achieving financial stability, especially since you are concerned about this right now, improving your mental health and self-esteem to build the confidence to pursue relationships and other life goals, gaining fluency in English to open doors for better opportunities and experiences. But starting point, where are you now? Right now, you've made significant progress in education and personal growth, but you also face challenges in consistency and confidence, particularly in business. Your relationships are something you're still working on, as you've expressed difficulty in establishing connection. You've identified some of the main factors influencing these areas. Financial instability, low self-esteem, and lack of confidence, especially in the context of relationships. Difficulty with consistency in business efforts. 3. Path. How do you get there? Without a healthy mindset, it can be difficult to sustain progress in other areas. You could explore techniques such as therapy, self-reflection, or even starting small habits that support mental well-being, like journaling or meditation. Addressing your self-esteem and building confidence will be foundational for pursuing your other goals, including relationships and your business. Financial stability in business. Once your mental health foundation is more stable, continue focusing on your business, making small, consistent steps to improve. Don't be afraid to experiment with different business ideas, but also ensure that you have a clear, realistic plan for financial stability. This could involve setting milestones, staying consistent with small actions, and tracking your progress. The goal is to build momentum over time rather than expecting immediate results. Improve English proficiency. Since English is important both for your business and future travel goals, integrating daily practice, whether through online resources, speaking with others, or using apps, could help accelerate your fluency. Make this a regular habit and try to surround yourself with English content to speed up the process. Relationship. As you work on your mental health and confidence, relationships may naturally improve. Focus on building strong friendships and connections first, which will help create a healthy foundation for a romantic relationship when the time is right. Self-love and acceptance should come first, allowing you to attract healthy, fulfilling relationships. Overall, taking small but consistent steps toward each of these areas, prioritizing mental health first, and maintaining a balance will help you create a path toward success and fulfillment. It's a journey, and progress will come with time and effort.